Hey, this is going to be a fun lesson where we're going to be looking at the tools. There's a lot of tools within Docs that can really help you with productivity. So we're going to be going over some of these really useful tools. And of course, this is located under the Tools tab. So first off, we've got spelling and grammar. So what this will do is this will do a spelling and grammar check, and we can also check off to show spelling suggestions and grammar suggestions. And then there's also personal dictionary. So if you do have words that you want to add, so let's say that you have a spelling of a name, so you can add that into the personal dictionary. So that way, whenever you're writing it, that it's going to have that as one of the words within your dictionary. So if it's misspelt or something is spelled incorrectly, the dictionary should be able to pick it up and check to see if there's a spelling error. So when we go into spelling and grammar, so we can do a quick spelling and grammar check just by going over, and it's going to go through the different spellings that are misspelt, and it'll give you suggestions. You can ignore or you can accept the changes. So I've got a number of times that that's spelt incorrectly, and I guess this is seen as a word, so I was kind of hoping that it wasn't, and that's because I've got the uppercase. So now it's detecting it that there's a spelling error, so it's doing a red underline, and also with the grammar errors, it's going to do a blue underline. So if we do something like, you can add to dictionary like words, and then once we finish, it will, if it detects a grammar error, it will do a blue underline, and if it detects a spelling error, it will do a red underline. So let's try to do the spelling and grammar. So it's giving us an option to change to, so it didn't actually pick up the one in the dictionary. So we've got an option to see more options. We can add to the dictionary. We can ignore all instance of it, we can accept all instance of it, and then also we can view the personal dictionary. So within the personal dictionary, so we do have that one word there. So that's the personal dictionary that we currently have. So let's just accept it and ignore this one. And then we've got the grammar option here, changed to dictionary to a dictionary, so let me accept that. So all of the grammar and spelling looks okay now, and that's a really quick check that you can do once you've completed your document or while you're working on your document. So there's also the word count. So this is very useful that you can have an option to pick up how many words you currently have. So it gives you an overview of the pages, words, characters excluding spaces, and also you can display the word count while typing. So let's say you need to get up to 1,200 words. So it's good to be able to see how many words you're currently at, and then, or let's say we want to get up to 1,300. And then also we can count how many words are within the selection. So it dynamically updates whenever we're checking. It also gives us the stats on the characters as well and the page that we're on. We can also hide the word count at any time. There are some symbols that it won't count in as words, so it's not going to add certain symbols as words. So if I select this as 51 words, so it's not counting these as words. So again, I'm still at 51 words, even though I've deleted it. So there are some symbols that are not included as words. So let's check out even more that we can do with the tools. So there's review the suggested edits, and that's one of the things that you might want to use directly when you come into the document. If you're working collaboratively, there might be some suggested edits, so you can check those out. We already saw what the Explorer does. We can link objects. So we can select, and we've got the objects that are linked. So this is linked to the Google Sheet, so we can get a quick overview of all of the dynamic objects that are linked. And this is really good if you've got content that you're updating within the sheets and you want to be able to see all of the linked ones to see if there's any updates are needed. So you can quickly see the status of these and if the data has changed. So let me again update some of the data here. And if the data has changed, then we're going to see the update there. So this is another thing that if you do have these linked objects, that you come into the document and you click the linked objects and you can go through them and see if there's been any updates. And if there is updates, then you can update the values that are contained within them. And so just moving that around, and let's do a quick update of the data. So that's another thing to check. So whenever you open up the document, review suggested edits, check the linked objects. And also within the tools, there's also the dictionary. So you can select the dictionary and you can type a word and search for the word. So you get some meaning for the word. You've got some uses of the word, verbs, nouns, explanation. You can also select one of the words here just by going over top of it and just trying to find a good word. And let's see what add, and then go to tools, dictionary, or you can use the shortcut. And so this one is Command-Shift-Y on the keyboard. And this will look up the word or whatever word you've selected. So if I do dictionary, and it's going to not be able to find it because I've got quite a lot of information there. So it's not finding all of those words. So you can't do a bunch of words. You should only be selecting one word at a time. There's also within here, there's translate document. So this is just for the entire document. So there's no use to select content, as this is going to be translating the entire document. That's the only option you have. So translate the document, and what it's going to do is it's going to create a new version of the document when it translates. So you select the title of the new document, and then you select the language that you want to translate it into. So going down, it's got a full list of all the different languages. Once you've selected the language, hit translate, and this is going to create a new instance of the document. So again, they're going to be creating it with a new ID. So that means that this is going to be completely independent and separate. And as well, you're going to be able to see it within your Google Drive that you've got this new translated document. And so this is going to be working independently. All of the content is translated. And of course, if you are using translation services, you should just make sure that you do have it translated properly. So you should always check it over once you do get the translation. So we also have some options here where we've got the voice typing. So this is a really neat one, and this can really save you quite a bit of time if you just want to jot down things that you're talking about. So the voice option, so it's right now it's going to be using the microphone, and it's going to be typing whatever I'm going to be saying within the microphone. So this is a really useful option, and actually I know some people that have actually written whole books just sitting back and talking into the microphone and having it all written out within the Google Doc. And then of course you should always review the content that's being written, because sometimes it doesn't catch it 100%. So it always is a good idea to make sure you review the content that's written out. But it is a really good, useful feature, and for the most part it does capture most of the text and the speaking properly and translates it into text. And then whenever you're done with the voice typing, then you can just hit the big microphone and that will stop the voice typing. You can also, it gives you some hints here, so you can say period or new line. There's also different languages that you can speak into. So it can talk within different languages as well. So another really useful feature. There's a script editor. So if you are typing Google Apps scripts, so this is a way to get additional functionality within your Google Docs. So running some script using Google Apps script. So this is going to open up the script editor that's going to be bound to the document. And there's a lot of really neat things that you can do with Google Apps script. So actually there's really a ton of stuff to do, and there's some good scripts online that you can get as well. There's also preferences. So when you open up the preferences, it will give you the general preferences with the document, and there's also substitutions. So this is something if you ever want to play a trick on somebody and you wanted it to update something. So if I type in Specus, now it changes it to best. So it's a way to update some of the preferences and the substitutions, whatever characters you're entering in, and you can customize these, you can remove these, and you can update these. And it's an automatic substitution, so whatever you type, it will automatically, as soon as you press enter, just as we saw, it will update the substitutions. So again, if you do want to play a trick on some friends, that's a really good, neat option. There's also accessibility settings, so turn on screen reader support and magnifier support, so those are the accessibility options. And there's also another really good one that has been recently added, and this is the compare documents. So this is a great, excellent tool if you've got two similar documents that you want to compare and you want to see what the differences are. So let's say that you are working and each of you is working on a document and each of you has made some changes. So let me just make a copy of the document. So I'll just call it dupe my doc. And then if I go in here and if I make some changes, and now I go into the document and I want to see what changes have been made, I can do a compare of documents. So selecting the documents, so the document that I want to compare is within the drive. I could also include comments from the selected document as well, and attribute differences to whoever what we want to attribute the differences to. So let's select the document from the drive. So that's the duplicate that we just created. And now we're going to compare the dupe my doc with the my doc that we have. And let's see what it comes up with. And this is a nice way to do a side-by-side comparison. Comparison is ready. And it creates actually a third document. And this is the comparison document where it's going to have the edits, the updates, the changes that have been made and what was made. And this is where it attributes it to my account. So we can have this compared document, and we can also have somebody else go through and check the edits and make sure that these are the edits that they want. So accepting the changes to the document. So this is just one way that you can really easily compare documents and check what changes and what the differences are between the two documents. So, and ideally you do want to have something that does have some similarities. Otherwise you're just going to have the entire document be completely different and completely, you're going to have a lot of things to commit and change, which again, of course, is an option. So this is a really new feature, a nice new feature that they've just recently added into the tools. So quite a lot to do with tools. I know we've gone through them rather quickly. So there's a lot of power here within the tools, and depending on what you need to do, I'm sure you're going to find a good tool to use that's going to be really helpful when you are working with your Google Docs and increase your productivity.